Good day, everyone, and welcome to a beautiful morning in Southwest Michigan. This is Kathy Zerler with Deborah Basham. We were just admiring the sky this morning, which has pink-tipped, gray, puffy clouds over Lake Michigan, and the lake is calm, the trees are still, and the sun is rising. And everyone, we're glad you're with us. We are all under the same sky. Let's begin with Hatha Yoga, which here in Southwest Michigan we refer to as gentle or restorative yoga. And it is all of that and more. Please lie down on your mat and roll down nice and slow, finding your center on the mat, and roll back your shoulders. You are in whatever rest pose suits you. I am in corpse pose. And as I roll back my shoulders, my palms are facing up. But if you're in corpse pose as well, your palms might be on the mat. That's a personal choice. It's not right, it's not wrong. It's what your body is telling you to do. And that's an important message that we learn from this practice. Always notice your body, honor your body right where it is right now, taking good care to be safe. So let's begin. Turning our heads from side to side, slowly moving up to but not through our range of motion. And in this way, we are safe because we're watching what we're doing. And we are not going too far, too fast, but moving mindfully. Come back to center, and then turn your head in one direction up to your range of motion and hold it there, sending breath to your neck as you hold and flex and breathe and smile. We like to say at the YMCA that a smile is the most advanced yoga pose. So use your smile for your own benefit and for the benefit of everyone who's blessed to see your smile. Come back to center and turn the other way up to your range of motion, whatever it is right now. And we only know where it is by going up to it mindfully and then holding it with our breath, supporting the neck, and everything else, getting ready for something that's coming soon. Come back to center and roll back the shoulders. Check your center. Lift up one arm just off the mat. So the weight of your arm is being supported by your shoulder. We are moving from the inside out, and that is from the core out to the extremities or whatever it is we are using for particular pose. All at once now, drop the arm and let everything else melt. Let everything go. Lift up the other arm. Same thing. We treat both sides as equally as we can. As you're holding up the weight of the opposite arm, breathing into the arm, noticing the weight, and then all at once, drop it. Let it all go. Notice the energy that you are now creating in the arms. Let's lift up the first arm and make a fist. The fist is optional, but this stimulates additional blood flow into the arm that we're holding up. And as you're holding up your arm, tuck the belly. Pull in the belly muscles right below the navel and begin to engage those to help you with the body weight lifting that we're doing right now. Continuing to breathe, even as you're squeezing the fist and holding the arm and tucking the belly. Still continue to support the yoga that you're practicing now with healing oxygen. Drop the arm. Let everything else go. Other arm, same thing. Lift it up. Fist squeeze is optional, so squeeze the fist if you'd like to. Draw down on the TVA muscles right below the navel and hold those muscles. And all at once, drop the arm and let everything else go. You are gaining better health with every breath. Bend one knee now and bring that leg up close to your body. Place both hands behind the knee and massage that side of your body with the top of your leg. Nice circular motion, massaging the involuntary muscles inside. This is truly moving from the inside out. We are taking care of our innards as well as our outside. This particular move is very good for any kind of gastrointestinal, I can't say the word. Your digestive system and your, I don't have the words today, gastro system. So it's very good for digestion, for elimination, and maybe just holding too much gas in your belly and having a bellyache. So this is the pose that can help that. Bring the leg up now. The knee is soft, and place your hands palms down on your low belly. Gastrointestinal system. Point the foot and slowly lower the leg you have up, going almost to the floor using the TVA muscles. And when you get almost to the floor, flex the foot and bring it up nice and slow using the core. So this is for core strength. Yes, the leg is moving as we point down and flex up at our own pace. You are moving always at the pace that best suits you. You don't have to mimic me. We're not in synchronized swimming or anyone else. If you're practicing with anyone else right now, you are in charge of this experience. This is your yoga. When you come to the mat, release the leg and let everything melt. Feels good. Notice the stimulation in that leg. Let's do the other side. Bend the other knee. Bring that knee up close. Put both hands behind the knee as you massage that side of your belly with the top of your leg, and the hands behind the knee prevent overflexion of the knee joint. Most of us were taught to, when we do something like this in fitness classes, to pull our hands, we pull our knee in like this, pull it close. Well, that puts an additional strain on the knee. So what we do is we cushion the knee with our hands as we are massaging and noticing. Notice your belly saying thank you. It's subtle, but if you listen closely, you can hear it. Bring the leg up, knee is soft, hands down on the TVA muscles as you point and very slowly lower your leg almost to the mat. And when you get there, flex your foot and bring it up. Nice and slow. Slower is better. Pointing it down, flexing it up, moving slowly up to your leg range of motion when you reach the top, and not touching the floor so that the leg and the belly are doing the work. Momentum has nothing to do with this. And the next time you approach the mat and get close because the leg is heavy, then release the leg. Let everything else melt and take a long, slow breath. Let's take a minute to talk about breathing. We prefer in yoga for people to do nasal breathing. That's inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Obviously, if you're stuffy and you cannot breathe through the nose, then mouth breathing is perfectly fine and works just great. However, there are additional benefits with nasal breathing. So as you're breathing, be mindful of the fact that the nose has a hair follicle filtration system built right in to help you to keep out germs. It doesn't keep every germ out, but it helps. And when we breathe in and out through our noses, we produce nitric oxide in the lungs, which is something the lungs need and which mouth breathing does not produce. So if you can breathe with the nose, do that. And do this calming breath that you are doing while I'm speaking to you about breath. Do this calming breath whenever you are able to. It's good to let your lips touch and let your teeth be a little bit apart and breathe through the nose, relaxing your face whenever you're able to. Think about all that our face does. Let's do a little bit of face work now. So scrunch up your face like you're pulling everything toward your nose and hold it. And then all at once, release. Let everything go. Let's do that again. Scrunch up your face. This is that I'm not eating those lima beans face that a 6-year-old might make. And then all at once, let it go. And look at how many facial expressions kids have. We have a lot too, but kids are extreme when they have their facial messes. When they cry, they really wail. When they don't like something, they pout. They they squeeze and go, no, 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 or whatever they want to say with it. And we refine that, not using quite as much. And so exercising our facial features as an adult becomes more important. So remind yourself of that. Sometimes when I'm talking about facial movements, which includes the eyes, I think about those funny movies that are supposed to be funny, frightening, scary movies where there's a picture on the wall and the eyes move from left to right. And the person that's walking down the hall senses that they're being watched. But when they look really quick, the eyes are stable. So do that to your eyes once in a while. Look side to side, look up and down, open and close your mouth really wide. You know, whatever you can think of to do to move your own face. There's lots you'll probably think of. So continue on with your yoga practice on and off the mat. Bend both knees now. Bring both legs up close, placing both hands behind the knees as you roll on your back, stimulating blood flow around your spine and noticing. Get as much of the spine as you can. So make a big circle encompassing the tailbone. And then maybe try moving back and forth instead of in a circular motion and making circles with your knees. And then also try bringing the knees in close, lifting the feet up for happy baby, and grabbing your feet and rolling around here. This can get more of the thoracic spine. So we're trying to get as much of our spine relaxed with as much blood flow being stimulated as we're able to do. It's healing. It's something that we do. That activity, which is great too, All activity is wonderful to do, especially physical, but also sitting in a chair, exercising your mind, which we need to keep supple. But when we do a practice like yoga, and let's bring the legs down now, we are in a session working every part of the body, which activity does usually not do. So yes, you could call yoga an activity, but this activity is designed to work every part of your beautiful body. Roll onto one side now and use your elbow and the other hand to press yourself up slowly to a seated position and come into staff pose. Pull that fleshy part back. Roll your shoulders. We want to be in line. Think about alignment all through your practice. Sitting tall and standing tall are the single best things we can all do for a healthy spine. Let's tuck our chins now and bring our hands into prayer pose. Apply gentle pressure to the xiphoid process in the center of your chest. Apply that pressure with the sides of your thumbs as your head is bowed in prayer pose. These two parts of prayer pose are designed to alleviate lightheadedness. In other words, to stabilize our bodies, as well as being a spiritually stabilizing pose. Take a moment, everyone. Take a moment to look within and be silent. Bring up your head slowly. Bring your arms up overhead and release that good thought. And let's do some windmill breathing, warming up the shoulders as we inhale up, if you would like to, and exhale down. If you'd rather go the other way or just breathe normally, that's wonderful. Some practitioners love to match their breath to the movement. I leave it up to you. Rolling back the shoulders the next time your arms come down, take a moment, find your center, and bring your arms out to parallel, sitting up tall, small movements with the shoulders up and down, nice and slow. Breathing as you move. Stop, palms up, small movements up and down, nice and slow. Breathing as you move. Stop, palms forward, small circles backwards. Remember, momentum is not in this or anything we do, but momentum might be in one of your activities, such as tennis. So what we're doing is training our arms and shoulders, especially the shoulders, stop, small circles forward, to realize the range of motion, to realize your personal limit, and to do that even when you're not necessarily thinking about that particular thing. Your body will be as you're moving. That's what practice gives us. Muscle memory. And release. And roll the shoulders and say, ah, because this feels really good after that little shoulder workout. And it's healing. We just did some tension with the shoulders, and now we're doing the release. Those two together, healing and release, tension and release, heal our bodies. Relax, soften, bring your arms up to goalpost, small movements up and down. Lift your lips up in a smile that's only for you. Bring your arms up overhead and fold your hands. Palms up toward the ceiling. Stretch right up out of the sits bones. Squeeze the hips. Stretch right up out of the armpits. Soften, release, and come down and come into scarecrow. Lift up the arms, up and down, nice and slow. Lift up your lips in a smile. Feeling good. Sway, warming up the elbows, sway the low arms. And release. And roll back the shoulders. Take a breath. Know that this is a calming breath. Inhaling deeply and exhaling more. That's recommended by Dr. Andrew Weil, MD. At the end of each one of his chapters called 8 Weeks to Optimum Health, which is one of his favorite books of mine, he has breathing exercises and household thoughts, and he talks about food and exercise and fresh air and nature and what sustains us. And he does that for 8 weeks, adding to it each week. So his becomes a practice with additions, just like everything. You know, the first time you practiced yoga, you did not get as much out of it as you are now if you're more experienced. The first time you sat down to the piano, you know, your mother probably covered her ears. But now you're a great pianist if that's what you practice. Let's come to our hands and knees now. We're going to do the cat table cow. So if you know it, start right in. If you don't know it, the table is arms straight down from the shoulders, knees straight down from the hips, and the cat stretch. Tuck the chin and arch your back like a fraidy cat. Release back to center to the table, which is flat back, and sway into the cow, arching your belly toward the mat, bringing up your head, releasing back to the table. When you just touch base in your mind with center, then arch up into the cat, release to the table, sway into the cow, breathing as you move. Breathe back to the table. Always breathe. And this time as we arch up into the cat, notice your TVA muscles. Right now you're pulling them up toward the ceiling. Release them now as you move to the center, to table. And watch what happens when you sway into the cow. Those muscles stretch. So notice that and begin to focus consciously on core strength here. As you tuck up into the cat, release to table, and sway to cow. Let's do one more complete rotation. Table, cat, table, and then cow. And finally coming to center, curl under your toes, widen your hands and feet to the edges of the width of your mat for downward facing dog and press up. Pressing up to an upside down V. Your first downward dog of the day, maybe. It's my first. My feet are flat on the floor, but don't force it if that's not for you. This becomes a very good hamstring, Achilles tendon stretch, and other parts of connective tissues in the backs of your legs. And it can be, even if you cannot touch the mat, let's begin to pedal, alternating one knee bending and then the other. So then you're getting a hamstring stretch on each side, and it's safe because you have more mobility now. Come back to center. Walk your hands and feet together, forward bend. Take a moment at forward bend and then slide up to flat back. Put your hands on your shins. So here's flat back. You're looking at your mat. From here, we can also do the cat table cow, which we already did a little bit of it, but I'm going to show you the standing version now. So that if you have recently had a knee replacement, for example, and you don't want to be on your knees for any reason, you can do this cat table cow like this. You're in flat back. Your hands are wherever, my arms are long, so I can reach my shins. Tuck the chin and arch your back. Notice the belly pulling up toward the ceiling. Release to table. Sway your belly toward the floor. Lift up your head in the cow. Return to the flat back. Arch up into the cat. This will be our last time because you know what you're doing here, but you know also that you have options. And come back to center. And then continue rolling up, tucking the chin. The chin tuck helps alleviate any dizziness you might be having. And we've been on the mat for a while, so we're standing up now and the blood is flowing from our brain to our hearts. Roll back your shoulders. Coming to center, sweep up your arms, lift up, lengthen. Lift up the toes, find your center here, widen your fingers, and then plant your feet, gently look up, and arch your back. And lean back just a little bit. Bring up your head, release the arms. So if you can see my posture, you can see that this is good posture. I'd ask you as a challenge for you, because this is not the way we walk around every day. We're walking like this, we're looking at our phones or whatever we're using, or we're sitting and we're using our computers, or we're making food or petting the dog or whatever we do, leaning forward. So this good posture is paramount to a healthy spine. And that's not according to me. I've done the research. It's according to Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, Johns Hopkins, Harvard Institute, Oxford Institute, all the big medical researchers. So good posture. It's not surgery, people. It's a lot less difficult than that. It's just stand up straight, as your mother used to tell you. So you're in posture. I'd like to ask you, after you're done here, to do the same thing, standing up tall against a mirror, a full-length mirror, and close your eyes and notice the back of your head and your shoulders and your buttocks and whatever else. Maybe some people's legs touch the mirror too. Anything touching the mirror, just notice that zone, and then think about alignment. Take a giant step away, turn to the side, and look at yourself in the mirror. You will be amazed at how good you look and how awkward it might feel, because it is not the way we normally stand, unless we're yoga instructors, and I don't stand that way all the time either. I try, though, to come back to center many, many times every day, and this is center. So let's do some forward bends, which begin at the mountain, Tadasana. Bring the elbows in close. Hands are soft here. We don't need our hands to do this. So loosen whatever you can loosen when we're doing something that requires other body parts. Bend the knees and sit way back. It's important here that the knees are above the feet. So your behind is behind you. Get back, sit back, fold in half. Your head is hanging now between your arms. Let that happen as you lengthen your legs without compromising stability. So we want 4 points on the mat. We want our head to be hanging because it weighs 10 pounds. And here's a break for our neck. Shake your head, yes. This is like traction for the neck because here's your 10-pound head and it's hanging here. It's a nice break for your neck. Let me change that nomenclature. It's a nice rest for your neck. Tuck the chin, pull in the belly, and roll up slowly. Still resting your neck because your head is still hanging as it's tucking. And then as you come up, bring up the head nice and slow, blood flowing toward your heart, shoulders roll back. Good posture, sweep up to the extended mountain and lift up. Widen the fingers. Bring back your chin, lift up your toes. Plant your feet now. Soften your body as you look up and arch and lean back. Bring up your head. Release the arms. Sway gently from side to side, warming up the waist. So I don't know how you all are doing in the pandemic, but I am doing a lot of cleaning because right now, as I'm standing here, I can see a big spider web hanging from one of my track lights, which probably if I was not here, I wouldn't notice as much, not here as much as I am, but here I am practicing yoga and there is a spider web hanging. So I'll get it later, people, don't worry, I'm not leaving you. Forward bend, elbows in, sit way back. Bend the knees, fold in half, hang out. Shake your head, yes. Let the head hang. Deep breath, tuck the chin, roll it up. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Blood has been flowing from the brain to the heart, from the heart to the brain. Lots of stimulation, shoulders roll back, arms up, sweep it up, lift up. Lift up the toes, lean back a little. Now plant the feet. Look up and arch and lean back a little more. Bring up the head. Release the arms. And again, sway gently, warming up the waist. Sway from side to side. Feeling good. And coming to center. Back to the mountain. This is a mountain also. This is a less stable mountain. I like legs straight down from the hips. It's better alignment for one thing, and it's more stable, probably even more important than alignment right here because it's a stable platform. So alignment obviously is important because everything's lined up and everything has room, and the twists that we were doing help open up space around the organs. And the rolling the shoulders back opens up our heart space. So there's lots going on here that you'll begin to realize as you practice. So let's sweep our arms up now and planting our feet, sway gently from side to side like a willow. Nice and slow. Like a willow hanging over a riverside. The willow's on the bank, but the tips of the willow branches are just caressing the surface of the river water. And the sun is sparkling on the river. It's calm, it's quiet, it's nature at its best. Soothing. Come up to center. Lift up. Soften. And then release to Crescent Moon. So one arm goes down the side of one leg and the other arm either comes up overhead or wherever the shoulder feels good. So here are your shoulder options. Your shoulder can be across your body, hand can be on the waist, the arm can be behind you, or you can just have your other arm just hanging here. This is actually called Crescent Moon, and sometimes people do it like this, so it's more of a crescent, more of a C. And so you lean into it, lengthening, flexing the oblique muscles. Come back up, nice and slow. Notice the release as much as the tension. Soften here, lean the other direction. Put your shoulder where it feels best. Notice the alignment, even as you're leaning like Pisa, the leaning tower, you are in alignment. As the oblique muscles flex and you lean into one side, there's still a line here. And we are flexible. We are not rigid. And we don't want to be, right? We need to keep moving. And we need to keep moving mindfully and safely so that if we have any part that doesn't feel very good or up to speed in any way, that we move it enough, but not too much. Come back up. Lengthen at center. Soften and release and sway. So enough, but not too much. It's a great metaphor for living better. It's an essential metaphor for keeping our bodies safe. Enough, but not too much. Move enough so that you keep whatever it is lubricated, but not so much that if there's something going on with that body part, such as the shoulders, that we don't exacerbate whatever it is, because why would you want to? Hands on the waist, widen your stance a little bit, soften the knees, and twist to one side, looking over that shoulder. Twist to the side you're looking at. Look behind you. Notice the flexion in the spine, the shoulders, the neck. Breathe back to center. Find your center. Twist the other direction. This is a bigger rotation than just swaying with the arms. So we're moving forward in full body rotations. Go up to your edge and breathe into it. Breathe back to center. Twist the other way. Hold it here. Breathe into the flex. Breathe back to center. Twist the other way. Hold it here. Come to center. And let's just march it out. March in place, just moving a little bit, move the upper body, move the legs, and let's step out a little bit farther for a little bit more spinal flexion. We're going into tripod. So the tripod is one leg, two legs, both hands together, the third leg. Fold in half. Put your hands in front of you on the mat. Soften the knees. And let your head hang again. Here's another opportunity to take the pressure off of your neck. Walk both hands over to the right foot. Left hand on the mat. Right arm up in the air. Look up. Look down. Right arm down. Walk back to center. Both hands to the left side. Right hand on the mat. Left arm up in the air, look up. Look down. Left arm down. Walk back to center. Hands to the right foot. Left hand on the mat. Right arm up in the air, look up. Look down. Right arm down. Come back to center. Last time, to the left. Right hand on the mat. Left arm up in the air, look up. Look down. Left arm down. Walk back to center, and let's all sit down. So we're going to continue with core strength, flexion, balance, equilibrium, stability, mobility, all the mobilities, all the abilities that are a part of yoga. So now get on your sits bones and lift up your feet. So this is called boat. So here's the boat, this V right in here, like a V hull. All right, so if this is hard and you're using the core here, you can put your hands behind your legs. But the core should be doing most of the work. You can assist, but you want those TVA muscles to do the work. So your arms can be straight out or across your chest, or you could be knitting while doing the boat. Do whatever you want. Keep those little hands busy, everybody. And then come down. Take a moment to rest. Tension plus rest heals our bodies. Let's come back into the boat. This time you could be in a still boat, or you can roll the boat using the core. Or you can do nothing. You always have the option of resting. Coming back to center, release, and rest a minute. Just take a moment. Extend your legs into staff pose. Fold forward, seated forward bend. Hands toward the feet, head in the direction of the knees. No forcing. Soften in. Let the top of your body soften over your legs. Release. Relax. Breathe. Slowly roll up, tucking the chin. Shoulders roll back, head comes up. And then bend one knee. Bring that leg up and put that foot on the outside of the extended leg, right by the knee. Bring the arm, the same arm as the bent knee, to the inside of the knee. And let the other arm come back. So now you're in the pose. This is a full body spinal rotation. Look over your shoulder. Look over the shoulder that's behind you. And arch your back. And lift up your chin a little. To extend this pose, point the extended foot. Sit up a little taller. Notice posture. Very important. Breathe and hold. Soften and breathe. Continue to hold. This is a static pose, also called yin. Used to be called isometric. Lots of names for the same things. Soften in place, stay here, but soften and let your body move a little. And then when you think you may have given your body a chance to go to a better place, which it will do if you just soften it up enough, and then return to the flex, looking over the shoulder, gently easing in by arching your back, lifting your chin, pointing the foot. And breathe in, breathe out, and smile. Directing your breath, if you think about it, to your flexion in the spine, the shoulders, the neck. In any case, keep breathing, because these holding poses can be tempting to hold our breath, and we don't want to do that. I'm looking at my dog there in the corner. Her name is Happy Baby. And I think I mentioned earlier that the smile might be the most advanced yoga pose there is. It's really Shavasana, which she's great at. She's in Shavasana right now. And we'll be going there soon, maybe in about 15 minutes. Well, we'll be there before that, but the session will end in about 15 minutes. So we're beginning to wind down. And we will be mimicking, so check it out, people. Happy Baby in Shavasana. She's breathing. Her belly's going up and down in a bellows breath. She's completely relaxed. She's probably smiling. I can't see her face, but maybe you can. And come back to center. Unwind, uncross, come to center, and then come up to the boat one more time for centering. So we're in the core. We're in the boat now. Is your boat a rowboat? If you want to row it, you can row the boat right now, bringing your body back to center. If it's a sailboat, maybe you're just sitting on the water, gliding nice and slow. Bring down the feet, and I'm going to turn around. We're going to do the other side in the full body spinal rotation. So come to staff pose, and as we approach the pose, think about alignment. Sitting tall. Now bend the other knee and bring that foot to the outside of the extended leg. Bring that arm, the same arm as the bent knee, inside of that knee, and then the other arm comes behind you, and you're sitting tall. Begin to look over the posterior shoulder as you begin to arch gently, lift the chin, point the foot, the extended foot, and find your edge. Work the pose. It's still motion, still from within. In this community, St. Joseph, Michigan, we are blessed with a lot of public art. And one of those pieces is called Still Motion. And it's in the lobby of, it used to be the old Pinnacle Bank building. And then it was Fifth Third, but now it's something else, and I don't even know what, but it's in Pleasant Street Plaza. It's right down from 221 Main Street, that restaurant. You'll see the plaza, and then outside there's a beautiful sculpture of a sailboat with figures carved into it. So still motion, and the sailboat, shoot, I was at the dedication for that years ago. Has a wonderful name, and I'm sure it's there on a plaque. So take a walk. Look at all of the beautiful outdoor public art that we have. Soften in place. Move around. That's all around the Krasl Art Center. There's public art, a beautiful Richard Hunt entryway to their new design for their exterior. All along the Arboretum. Arch your back. Lift the chin, point the foot. Lookout Park has a piece of sculpture. The sculpture all over Harbor Shores. There's lots of pieces of sculpture. And in the Benton Harbor Arts District as well. Lots of places to just walk and be inspired for free. And you're outside in the fresh air. Perhaps you'll see somebody across the street that you'd like to wave at. Your social distancing, socialization for the day. Breathe and hold. And then release and uncross. Come to center and gently fold in half. Hang out. Release, relax. Let go. And roll back, and let's come into our bridge. So the feet are in front of you on the mat, and there's some space between your knees, about, if you have a block, about a block width apart, 2 or 3 inches usually is good, so that the legs are lined up with the hips. As we begin to roll down, uncoiling our spine, our skull touches the mat, arms now are on the mat next to your body for stability. So roll back your shoulders and check your pelvis. Lift up your hips to be sure there's no pressure on your neck. And when you're feeling ready, then pelvic tilt and roll up your torso, vertebrae by vertebrae, up onto the shoulders. Arch your back, squeeze your hips, and then release around that, settling into your bridge. Breathe and notice. Keep steady. There's alignment here between the knees and the shoulders. There's about a 45-degree angle beneath the bridge. Climb out of this bridge and stand on your bridge. What do you see from the bridge, from the vantage point of witnessing your body? What do you see? Slowly roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae, and let your back touch the mat as you rock your pelvis and release. Nice, gentle rocking, letting go of the tension and resting and releasing into the release towards healing. Again, check your shoulders. Tilt your pelvis and roll up. Rocking up onto the shoulders. Arch your back, squeeze your hips, and then release around that, letting go of anything you don't need to hold the pose. Slowly roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And when your back touches the mat, rock your back. Forward and back, slowly. Coming to center, check your shoulders. And if you'd like to join me for one more bridge, please do. If 2 is enough, an option is for you to stay on the mat and do something else, or just rest a moment. This time I'm going to show you a bridge progression. So if you're interested in a slight bridge challenge, walk one foot toward the center of your body and then lift up the other leg for a tripod bridge. So now the shoulders are 2 legs of the tripod, and the 1 foot that's on the mat is the other support. Shoulders and the foot. Hold it here. And then bring down the upper leg, put it next to the leg or the foot that's on the floor so that it's now next to center, and lift up the other leg. It's a little bit of a weightlifting challenge, but you are now up for it. We're fully warmed up. Release, bring the leg down. So this is always an option when you're doing the bridge also. Come to center in your bridge and then roll down and rock your back, releasing the spine, relaxing, rocking forward and back. Bring the knees up close, one hand behind each knee, and roll on your back. Nice and slow. Feeling good. Bring the knees in close now. Arms out into airplane. And on a breath, lower both legs to the right, all the way to the mat. Head to the left as you extend the left arm away and roll that palm so that hand is facing up. Right hand on the mat. Left palm up. everything else relaxing. Let go of holding up the weight of your legs. Direct your breath into this wonderful, powerful, truly a miraculous, non-invasive pose that can help to articulate something in your spine that might be a little out of place, back into place. Very slowly now, one leg at a time, bring up your legs. And when you feel yourself centered on your back, bring in the arms, place one hand behind each knee, and roll on your back a little bit more vigorously, but not out of control, but more vigorously than we did earlier in our practice. So remember, you can roll back and forth and draw circles with your knees, or you can roll in a circular motion. You can fly your legs up in the air like part of a vertical roll. Anything you'd like to do that feels like you're encompassing as much of your spine as possible. You can add happy baby, grabbing the soles of your feet like a happy child discovering his or her feet. And then come back to center, bring the knees in close. We're going to do the other side. Arms out into airplane. Lower both legs to the left, all the way to the mat. Head to the right as you extend that arm. So the right palm rolls up and the left palm is down. Let go. Especially let go of holding up the weight of your legs. If it's impossible for you to do this, use a prop. A cushion in between your knees, or a book or a block, whatever you need to support the legs without you holding them up with your low back. The legs together are way too much for the low back to hold. So breathe in, breathe out, and yes, notice. Soften your jaw. Soften whatever you don't need in this pose. Relax the fingers. Relax the feet. Relax your face. Slowly now, one leg at a time, bring up your legs. When you find center, bring in the arms, and again, roll on your back. This is the opportunity for your spine to come together if anything is out of place, minorly. Although I did have, in these results, I was amazed myself. when this gentleman that came in for the first time into my class at the Y, we did this pose at the end, which we often do. And he came up to me after class and he said, I have had a painful sciatic nerve for 20 years. And when we did this pose, it released. And he was so grateful. He never missed a class after that until he moved to Tennessee. And like I say, you know how those diet shows say, this person lost 300 pounds in 3 months. These results are not typical. But they can, I guess they can happen. I don't know, they can't be lying completely. But anyway, this guy, I wouldn't say those are typical results, but it sure was great for him. He just did what exactly was needed for his spine to release. So everybody, come into rest pose. Find your place and settle in for Shavasana. So when we smile and rest at the same time, we are at peace. We are enlightened. We have been thoroughly worked out, and we are all the better for it. Begin the 4-part breath. If you know it, start right in. If you don't know it, it is inhaling for the count of 4 on your count, holding for the count of 4, exhaling for 4, and pausing for 4. So please do 2 or 3 or 4 4-part breaths. If you can breathe in and out through your nose, do that. If you're doing the nose breathing, contract your belly muscles on the exhale and make that ocean sound in the back of your throat if you're breathing nasally. Very slowly now come back to center and bring your hands together, everyone, in prayer pose. Resting your thumbs in the center of your chest, arms resting on your sides. Soften and think about something good, something that you do well enough, that you have enough to share. And everybody has something good. Every one of us has more than one strength. And we also have weakness on the other end of the spectrum. As we close our practice, we say the word namaste, and we say it together. So let's do that now. Namaste. And on behalf of Deborah Basham and myself, Kathy Zerler, we bid you thanks and gratefulness and wishes to make your day a healthy one. Namaste.